I touch it?
And what's the poi for today?
I'm using it to help me self-regulate, and I'm using it as a stim toy because I'm trying not to wear sunglasses and headphones for this recording, so instead I have a poi. Usually the first thing I do when I walk into a room is I look for my exits. I look for my strategies to help me cope, and then I sensorily process everything and just kind of take everything in, and so I can process and think about what I'm doing. Autism spectrum disorder, it's a disability that is a neurological difference. Our brains are physically wired differently, and studies have shown autistic people typically have more neuroreceptors than the average person. So with that, we have more information running through our bodies to our nervous system. So you get to A, thinking about A, get to B, thinking about B, you get to C, you're overthinking about C, and then that gets sent down to your nervous system, and it usually creates sensory overloads, overwhelm, or when you haven't been diagnosed, panic attacks. One autistic person is different to the other because we all have this set up inside our brains, but we also still have personality, spirit, soul. We still have our own identity as people and passions and hyperfocuses. So every autistic person you meet will have different sensory needs, different things to accommodate. So not one autistic is the same, but also not one person is the same. Just with autism, it's a lot more obvious. And yeah, there's a lot more to go with that. I could explain it for hours. So. They're each other's people. It's really cute. George is such a good older brother. But he trained for it because I wanted more kids, and he was like, I want more kids. And we spent years, looking at babies.
I wanted another brother.
Are you crazy? You can be autistic and have kids. That stigma needs to go. There's been a couple of comments online saying that I shouldn't be a parent and things like that, which I just think are ridiculous. I don't even absorb. Being knowledgeable about neurodivergence can actually make you, I feel, a much better parent because you're not in conflict and yelling at your children. You're realising, oh, you have a different brain, you have a different brain, I have a different brain. Because of that, we all have a really fun time. Careful, keep looking. Yay! Good girl. Do you want to do this part? She likes doing her own belt. She can't do it yet, but she will sit there for an hour while I depack a car just because she wants to do her own belt. You got your school bag?
Where is my heart?
Thanks, Bo.
Basketball time.
Can we touch on why you don't like to be there when the bell rings?
Oh, I don't like to be there when, it's not very safe for me to go when there's a big transition at school. It creates sensory overload and overwhelm. And also school was quite a traumatic place for me as well, so I've had to detangle that with my son's schooling. So it's been trial and error, and I had really good support last year with drop-offs. And what do you mean school shut? No, it's not shut. You got a new gate though. I missed the trees. Oh, and you have your purple cream in there if your hip gets sore. Alright. You want to get a hug? Hi.
Bye.
See you later.
Bye, Lena.
Oops. Love you. You're amazing. She's ready to go to his school. So, cool. We're going? Okay, I have to get out of the school. I can't last long. Okay. The sensory aspect of people walking around, that is a sensory trigger for me. So schools in general, the pick up, the drop off, it takes a lot of energy out of me, and I know if I stay in those areas long enough, I won't last throughout the day. So I make sure I budget my energy. It's hard being called dumb every day, or being told off by teachers and just constantly told you're naughty. So it traumatised me, and so I struggle going in and out of schools. I know, the energy! Yucky, yucky, yucky. Ugh. School, ugh. I try not to push down my kids though. Like, they can enjoy school. But personally, I no longer have that option. It's like a toxic relationship. I need to move on. What's wrong? Are we not hearing you? So I started school, and I would run away in corners to cry, not knowing now that those were sensory overloads. But back then I just thought I was upset about life because I didn't know how to explain it or what was going on. So that was me at 5, was trying to figure out that. And then not being able to read with the dyslexia, I just got told that I had to try harder. I usually just spend like lunch times and like just life in the bathroom trying to just cope with everything. And because you get told from day dot that you're an idiot. And I hate that word. I don't let my children say it. I'm like, that's a bad word. So because you're getting told every day by pieces of paper that you're dumb. You're getting told every day by a teacher that you're not trying hard enough, or you're not paying attention, or you're not saying the right thing at the right time. You're getting told by students that, oh no, I'm in the dumb class because I'm in Tamara's class. And then you're getting told by other students like, oh my gosh, why don't you understand? You should just understand. Blah, blah, blah. And like, why is she crying in the corner? Blah, blah, blah. So I became depressed around 7 and started to have self-harming thoughts around then. First time I got sexually assaulted was age 7, and on a school bus. First time I got physically assaulted, around the same age, 7, 8, because I don't have a filter. Easy to get beaten up from that. And the bullying kind of didn't stop. Like, it was only last year, or 2 years ago, I went to a party and I got called, I don't like using the word, but the word retarded. And that happens to me a lot, even to this day going out. People will call me that word, or say that, or call me a spaz, or just aren't very cultured in ableism. I love science. I got my top of my periodic table on it. My mum got me when I was 7, and it was down to my knees, and well, not down to my knees, it was down to my toes, and now it's like a little small t-shirt on me, like a normal size just t-shirt. So I was going to be a scientist, and in college you get 1 class for science, and I was like, cool, I'm going to enjoy 1 moment of my day, and I'm going to be able to feel relief 1 moment of my day. And I studied really hard. I put all my love, all my energy into it, and then I got all my test results back, and they were all wrong, and I didn't get 1 question right, and that sent me off sent me off my trails and ended me in Starship Hospital.
I was running the Children's Autism Foundation, and I went to a conference in Melbourne, and there was a really lovely lady in her 20s that got up and spoke, and I had tears rolling down my face. I thought, she's just describing Tamara. I grabbed some books and I took them home. I said, does this remind you of you? And she goes, oh, that's me, Mum. And so she went through the book. She said, oh, remember that time, Mum? That was how I felt then. And at the end of it, she said, oh, I think I'm autistic, Mum. Oh, okay. Would you like to be diagnosed? She goes, yeah, okay.
Yeah, so being diagnosed was profound though, because then I was like, oh my gosh, I'm not crazy. Which was nice, because it made me realise I'm not the problem, and I'm not a burden. And any situation, even if you have mental health challenges, then even that, you're still not a horrible person, and you still have a choice to believe in yourself. Since I was 14 years old, I've been in disability action plan groups, forming people's disability action plans for government, ministries, organisations, corporations, being in a lived experience as a neurodivergent with disabilities. One of the most debilitating comments you get is, you don't look autistic, or comments like, oh, isn't everyone a little bit on the spectrum? And it's so like, don't say that. Right. Like, don't talk to me like that, because it is really struggling. Like, it is a struggle to live with a disability. I just devoted my life to be able to speak up about my autism and ADHD and all those different things. But we still every day have to put on that mask, have to battle social norms, have to battle systems that aren't suited for us and pretending that that's okay. And I just overshared my life as I would do to strangers anyway. So, and I just started talking about what it's like to be autistic and to be different, because I noticed that there isn't any setups for me to get that support that average people have, the typical person has. And so I've built X abilities based with that. We do our public speaking and our professional development, disability action plans. We can help with structural changes and inclusion practices, and we have helped in all those aspects. That's a really messed up thing about the world that's happening right now, is that diversity and inclusion is a woke thing, and it's just a side topic. It's not instilled into our systems. That's messed up. That needs to change. What do we do about it? And then realising that if you can't find hope, you need to become that hope, because it's not about just creating services for people, it's also being that service in yourself. So internally, I've been working on managing my autism, managing my learning disabilities, having confidence to tell people, no, I can't read, do it a different way, be accessible, be inclusive. I've educated over 20,000 people with my public speaking. I love being on stage, and I love that each time you have a teacher, you have a psychologist, you have a police officer that's going to just completely change the way that they're thinking from just one conversation.
And so for our very last speaker, I'd like to welcome up Tamara Grant from X Abilities.
Ko o te waka, ko ripehi te mauna, ko wanganui te awa, ko makaranui te marae, ko Tamara Grant aho. My name is Tamara or Tamara, but I recently reclaimed Tamara because I recently have been on the marae. So today I'm here to talk about neurodiversity. I am very passionate about the subject because I am autistic. I have learning disabilities, I have mental health disorders, and I also live with chronic pain and fibromyalgia. I have a health and safety list for you so you understand what I'm saying and you wait to the end, because it will make sense. Because right now I have 10 tabs open up in my head of things I want to talk about, and they're coming out all at once. I've got to regulate my body. I have more neuroreceptors, I'm autistic, I have a lot more information flooding through my body, and if I don't regulate that, if I don't stim that out, then I will hide it and I will melt down by the time I'm at home, and I will not have a life, because that will be my life of consistently masking, because that is a full-time job. And that's what every neurodivergent is also doing, is they're trying to fit in with the average person, because that is what our systems are built off. That's what our education system is built off. That's what our justice system is built from, and also our health. How do we leave here knowing an action that you can take? The best place to start is just looking at what you're judging in life, who you're judging in life, and judging someone by their ability is ableism, and it's not okay. Put the human before the system. And I say that because of my experience. So yeah, kia ora.
Thank you.
Really awesome.
The stuff that Tamara talked about is really relevant to the work that we do, trying to get kids back into school and understanding why they feel that they don't fit into school. Also, we run a lot of programs with youth offenders, and if you look at their history, often they also have a conduct disorder and ADHD and all those sort of things that have never been diagnosed, never been supported, never been helped. And it's not until they commit serious crime that suddenly those support's available. So it's almost like we're around the wrong way.
I mean, it's obviously something that, as a youth aid officer, that we deal with, because a lot of the kids that we work with have been diagnosed or are undiagnosed, but you suspect there might be something going on. And so, no, really valuable, really excellent.
I didn't say anything I wanted to say in order, or I don't think I got through half of the points, but I'm proud of it. I've said what I needed, and I hope that the justice, the ministries and police and systems and organisations start to get that ripple effect of emotional intelligence and to start the conversations. That was fun. I got airtime, I swear. Internally, I was like, wee! Oh, that was great. Inner child work, when you can find an opportunity to do something a bit different, to relax the body in a way, to jump out of your own head. I'm definitely someone that will go run straight towards it, straight to the front of a mosh pit. Like, I'm just straight there. Because it's just, why not? Life can suck sometimes, and if you don't capture every moment you can, whenever you have the energy to, or even when you don't have the energy, just be like, God, just try it. So if I warm up my body and I stay positive, I go into a higher frequency of life, and I can dance, I can move, I can be excited. But if I dive too deep into the pain and I don't disassociate from it, then it gets nasty.
This is part of having a girlfriend with autism. Is having a sensory overload. We can't move her arms. I had to feed her through a straw. She also has moments where she disassociates like this. Doesn't talk, can't move her lips, can't move her body, can't move anything. Her senses slowly start to come back, but she still seems like she's in a bit of a sensory overload.
My daughter's father and my mum were the only people that had ever seen me in a sensory overload in my life before I posted it on social media. And that's because I was embarrassed. Yeah. I was embarrassed because who wants to see someone like that, that know that, hold up, I need to emotionally progress this. Like, who wants to get into a relationship with someone that does that? Who wants to employ someone who collapses? And how many jobs will I lose by people seeing that? How will people treat me differently? How many people will start to talk to me with a slow tone? Be like, are you okay? Do you need help? Do you, like, and just change their personalities because they think, well, because I am disabled. A lot of people do, whether they like it or not, whether how close they are to you or not. And I think that's why, as well, I respect honesty a lot more than the average person, because it's, sorry. I'm like, yeah, emotions. Yeah, you just, there was something you hide. I was ashamed of it. There's not much I haven't tried in the situation of trying to help my physical body keep up with my intellectual body and my emotional body. And realising that all aspects help each other was a hard pill to swallow for me. That if I actually helped my physical health, it will help my autism and everything flow.
Getting a bit easier?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When I found this chiropractor and I explained my situation, I was just shaking. But they understood all those aspects of myself and made it inclusive to my needs. And in return, I now have physical capabilities of my body. When I was 15 and I was going through heavy traumatic situations in spaces of life and death, I always heard an inner voice, and I feel like that inner voice is a good voice, and it would always tell me that you're okay, you're okay, you're okay. And I've noticed that that voice has stayed with me until now. It's like, you have control, you have control, you have control. And my brain can always go from the spectrum to negative to positive, and I wouldn't change anything because I respect that my journey is the catalyst for other people to have opportunity. I'm proud of being autistic, and that's why I talk about it. Like, I try my hardest to be vulnerable as much as possible because it gives that one person that piece of hope, that other autistic out there, or dyslexic person, or anyone that's struggling with communication and being neurologically different. By being vulnerable, it can give them the hope that they are allowed to feel those emotions as well.